were given the opportunity to act out one of those fight scenes, maybe a medieval fight scene, and you were given the chance, okay, pick your weapon, pick your colors. For a weapon, would you choose a tallit, a prayer shawl? Hi, this is Barry Phillips, a 10-minute Torah, day 5, final day of Toldot. Let's go to Genesis of Bereshit, chapter 27. And let's read this important segment in the scene where Yaakov goes in dressed and smelling like his brother Esau to get his father's bracha, his father's blessing. It says in verse 21, Yitzhak said to Yaakov, please come near me so that I feel you, my son, whether you are truly my son Esau or not. Yaakov went near to Yitzhak his father, and he felt him and said, the voice is the voice of Yaakov, but the hands are the hands of Esau. From that, we derive an understanding that to Esau belongs the ability of threat and power of the sword. That is, that the weapons in his hand are those of violence and threatening, warlike aggression. But to Yaakov belongs the covenant and the power of prayer. I know that many are turned off by the response to them sharing a need with someone, asking for help, asking for intervention. Can you get involved in my situation? And the response says, well, let's pray about this. That is too often taken as I'm going to pray and forget about it response. Or I say I'm going to pray, but really I'm just going to run away and forget about you and your need. But this is important. Prayer is the most powerful weapon on the face of the earth. You can send an army onto a battlefield equipped with all of the latest weaponry and capabilities, training, maneuvers, the finest of generals. But they only win when somebody is praying. So we can go back through the major strategies and war scenes of human history. Yes, I know that there were pagan armies against pagan armies. But when it comes to those that are representing a nation that Yah is seeking to use, somewhere, somehow, somebody was praying. Wherever there has been a mighty move of Yah in the earth, it didn't just happen. Wherever great things take place in the earth, it doesn't just happen in a vacuum. Somewhere, someone is praying. Or someone has prayed, even in past generations, but those prayers have been stored up for their answer to come at a more opportune time. I do believe that you and I, that we are living in favored times, blessed opportunities, increased doors opening because of prayers of parents, grandparents, or just little old ladies whose hearts were broken for a current generation cried out, and Yah saved up their prayers for our generation. And so we should be thankful and mention them in our prayers. Father, thank you for the saints who interceded for us, that you're using their prayers to be beneficial to us now. That being said, one of the most powerful things that Yeshua taught us is to pray. And the model prayer that he gave us in Matthew chapter 6, this is the way that you should pray. In verses 14 and 15, he also taught us then the power of forgiving others their trespasses or their sins against us, because if we fail to forgive others, then we ourselves will not be forgiven. But if we forgive others, then Yah will also forgive us. In the book of Mark, chapter 11, if you look at verses 22 through 24, Yeshua said to them, "Have belief in Elohim, for I say to you, whoever says to this mountain, be removed and be thrown in the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that what he says shall be done, he shall have whatever he says. Because of this I say to you, whatever you ask when you pray, believe that you receive them, and you shall have them." That doesn't mean that we run to Yah with our favorite list of toys and exciting things, but rather we seek out his face for his agenda and pray accordingly, and Yah moves for those things to come to pass. Again, in Mark chapter 13, verse 33, Yeshua said, "Take heed, watch and pray, for you do not know what the time is." Rosh Shaul in 1 Thessalonians 5:17, his instructions, pray without ceasing. And then in the book of Yaakov, in the book of James, if you will, it says that Elijah was a man with feelings like us, and he prayed earnestly that it would not rain, and it did not rain in the land for 3 years and 6 months. He prayed again, and then the heaven gave forth rain, and the land brought its fruit. We read that story pertaining to Eliyahu, Elijah the prophet, and we just assume that Yah said, "Go in there and tell Ahab that it's not going to rain," and that's all that there was to it. Here we understand that he not only made the declaration, but then he also went and he prayed fervently that Yah would back up that declaration. So the rains stopped, not because he made a declarative statement in the king's palace throne room, but rather because he prayed and sought Yahweh even afterwards, even after he said what Yah told him to say, and Yah heard and answered his prayer. It didn't rain until he prayed again that it would rain. There is power and ability in prayer if we are willing to seize it. So we might then come down to this understanding that Yah is basically waiting on the prayers of his people that are not Esau prayers that are based on flesh and manipulation and dominance and control, violent prayers that seek to ruthlessly uproot others out of their belief systems and bring them into our own. But rather, he's looking for those who are praying according to the Spirit and about the kingdom. So we could also ask some important questions such as, what is it that compels us to pray? Why pray? What is it that has to happen before you pray? Is it a sense of faithfulness? And it is my daily duty. Is it perhaps desperation and crisis that we really get on our face and we really cry out when circumstances are so bad there's no other recourse but, well, maybe we ought to start praying about this? That's more often the case than we might realize. What about just simple yearning and a passion? I would like to say that passion and a yearning to seek his face and that kind of thing is the most effective, or not so much the most effective, the most often used provocation to pray. If we're all honest, that's probably not the case. But Yah will allow circumstances. Yah will allow needs that rise up within us, even our own Aesop actions, to bring us to a horrified realization. I am as I am, I do as I do, I have spoken as I have responded as I have, because I haven't been praying. And so Aesop comes to the surface. It is Yaakov who overcomes the sword of Esau with prayer. Your talit, your prayer shawl, is a powerful weapon. Shabbat Shalom. May the Father be with you and your family as you have been celebrating perhaps this week for Thanksgiving. May you continue to give thanks. And Yah reveal himself to you and to all who are with you. as you gather in His name, study His Word. Shabbat Shalom until next week.